Golden State Media Concepts Sci-Fi Podcast. Together we dive into the world of sci-fi and science fiction. From episodes of Star Trek, Star Wars, to The Walking Dead, Resident Evil, all the hot new science fiction movies from the backdoors of Marvel or DC. The Golden State Media Concepts Sci-Fi Podcast. You'll never look at science fiction the same way again.
Welcome to the GSMC Sci-Fi Podcast with your favorite host, Ryan Holloway, brought to you by and presented on the GSMC Podcast Network to fulfill all of your podcasting needs. Are you guys well? Are you okay? Well, thank you for being here. You could be anywhere in the world right now, but you're here with me, and I appreciate that. So, here is anyone else experiencing this whole Infinity War hangover? Because I'm experiencing what I like to call an Infinity War hangover, because I don't know what to do now. Like when I watched the movie, I felt a little differently than other people. Like a lot of people felt like they were upset at Thanos and they didn't really like his whole world domination thing, galaxy domination of the whole universe. They didn't really like that. I personally was with it. I mean, he feels like it. I'm not a sociopath, obviously, but he feels like the galaxy doesn't have enough resources, so half of everyone has to die, which is crazy, right? But that's what he feels like his whole purpose is in life, and then he's just gonna just walk off into the sunset somewhere. He's not someone that just wants to rule the galaxy just to rule it and be like, look, yeah, every day is lobster day. Every day is casual Friday. Like, no, he wants to rule it and then do a bunch of stuff and then just walk off. Like, kind of like he wants to be like Michael Jordan. I'm gonna win 6 rings. That might come back and play for the Wizards for 2 years, and after that, I'm just done. That's what Thanos wanted to do. So I was okay with being on the side and like, rocking with him, but Now I'm kind of bored. I'm kind of bored because, I mean, and don't get me wrong, I don't want to be one of those spoiled fans that's like, oh, well, I need another movie tomorrow. I know it's going to take a year, and I get it. I know there'll be a bunch of other movies that will give us, that will give us, I don't know, like hints, and they'll give us hints and things like that. That's fine. I'm okay with hints and stuff. Like, I'm okay with that. It's fine. I just think I'm kind of having a hangover from it because of the hype. The hype was so, the hype was so outstanding. The hype was so outstanding. Then the movie came, and now I kind of don't know what to do with myself. I don't really know. Do I go in the background and start reading a whole bunch of things that are coming? Like, what exactly am I supposed to do? You know what we are going to do? We're going to watch Deadpool. Deadpool is coming. Even though, and like, Deadpool is Marvel Universe, but I don't think he's ever going to rock, like, with that whole Avengers saga. There'll be some jokes or whatnot, but I don't think he's ever going on that side. I think does that have something to do with, like, that Disney beef? Like, who owns what? Maybe it has something to do with that. I don't 100% know. I think it does, actually. You know what? I don't know. And I don't want to speak on it. Disney versus Universal. I don't know. I'm not trying to have them run up in my house, have Mickey Mouse kick me in my chest. I don't need those type of problems. All I'm saying is that Deadpool probably isn't going to give us any like Avengers hype, but it's okay because, I mean, for us to have Deadpool Part 2 coming out, it's a very exciting time. Are you guys excited about Deadpool 2? Are you? I don't know if I really am. And the reason is because Part 1 was so good. It's very hard to top a sequel. Like, to top the first movie. Like, the sophomore slump is real. The sequel a lot of times is but geez, I mean, the first one was so good. Like, it was written so well. It was, if they keep the same formula, we should be A-okay. They do a really good job of not having corny jokes, and if they are corny, they're corny on purpose. And then it's rated R, so they have like a lot of leeway with it. So you can't really go very wrong with it. I just hope it's as good. It should be great. I mean, we do have Josh Brolin in it playing Cable. I never thought I would see Cable in a Marvel movie. I didn't know that I would see that. From what I believe, Cable is from the future, and he's like the great grandson of Cyclops. I think. I could be wrong. I don't know. No, I'm about 95% sure that that's true. So yeah, I'm excited about it, but it being the part 2, I'm a little shook. Because the first one was so incredible that I don't. You know what? I'm gonna put my faith in it. I'm going to woosah. I'm going to believe in Marvel because they haven't let me down quite yet, and everything. I believe we're going to be fine. I had this question for you guys. I was talking to some people the other day about superhero movies, and we were going back and forth or whatnot. And we realized, we talked about whether or not, I'm talking about how Marvel didn't let me down. I was having a DC conversation with some people, and we were talking about how much better Suicide Squad was than Justice League. And it seemed like none of us really realized it until we started talking about it. And it's interesting because with Justice League, they tried to just throw this thing together with like the same Superman and then this Ben Affleck Batman who like fought Superman a couple days ago, or the Wonder Woman who we met not too long ago, and the new Aquaman and the new Flash and the new robot guy, right? They threw this together and it was really bad. It was genuinely bad. It just wasn't, it wasn't even almost good. It just wasn't almost good. Everyone was disappointed. Everybody was sad. The Aquaman was flying and there wasn't any water around. It was just really weird. Now, a Suicide Squad, all these characters, they just threw them together. We never saw any of those characters before ever in a movie. Why was that movie so good? Like, why was Suicide Squad so much better than Justice League? And don't tell me it was because of Will Smith and Margot Robbie. Don't tell me that. In fact, I think that because Will Smith was in it, the expectations were super duper ultra higher than they should have been for that movie. But it still came out really good. I wonder why. And I have questions about that. I genuinely have questions. I wonder if you guys feel the same way. I haven't heard anyone ever compare the two movies. I think because the Suicide Squad movie is so good, we probably forget it is a DC movie, because the Justice League movie, I mean, obviously after Suicide Squad and then the Superman movie, like in the Superman versus oh my God, those movies are so bad. I didn't really have a problem with the first Superman, not from this group. Like this group of Supermans, I didn't have a problem with it. Like people didn't like it, but I liked this one. But then when he fought Batman, and I didn't really understand why. I know why, but I didn't really get it. Anyway, all this like confused information and all these convoluted tales remind you of why I'm down with Marvel. They never let me down. I even was, I'm going to say this. I don't really like admitting this because sometimes I don't like when people hate on people. I don't think it's a good idea. It doesn't help move us forward. One thing I do hate on is movies, and I'll hate on the movie before I even see it, because I feel like I have a good eye for particular trailers, whether or not they're going to be or be those are the options, or and I was kind of hating on Ant-Man. Oh, that movie looks stupid. Who would ever want to see that? That looks ridiculous. Why would I want to see that? The other day I was at the gym. I was on the stair climber, and the movie came on, and I was reading the subtitles and just watching the movie. And I was like, "Yo, this is super good. This is super good." And I was missing out, so I was sleeping on Ant-Man. I apologize, Ant-Man. Bless up. So, yeah, Marvel never lets us down, and I'm just happy. I'm happy that someone can still carry the torch for this, even though I am having an Infinity War hangover because I don't really know what to do about it. This is what I'm gonna do, though. This is what I'm going to do about my Infinity War hangover. I'm just going to go see it again. That's probably what I got to go do. I'm going to have to go see it again on a bigger screen, sit in the back, and buy like some different candy. Cause I need more of that. I need more of that. I need to see some things I didn't see before, and we're just going to need more of it, because that movie was incredible. And if you haven't seen it yet, I need you guys to go and see it. I need you to. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to take a quick commercial break, and when I get back, I'm going to finally, I've been telling you I'm going to do this for weeks. I've been telling you that I was going to do this for weeks. So I'm finally going to tell you guys about Westworld that comes on HBO. I've been meaning to, and it's been taking me a while, And I know it's been, I know. I see you rolling your eyes at me right now. But when I get back, I'm finally going to tell you guys about Westworld. Be right back.
Check out the show built around the women of MMA. From the UFC to the extreme cage fighting, we got the fights covered.
Listen.
It's the Golden State Media Concepts Women's MMA Podcast. The latest news of upcoming fights, discussions of previous matches. Join us as we talk to and about the biggest names in women's mixed martial arts, past, present, and future. When it's the women's fight game, you know where to listen to. The Golden State Media Concepts Women's MMA Podcast.
Welcome back to the GSMC Sci-Fi Podcast with your favorite host, Ryan Holloway, brought to you by and presented on the GSMC Podcast Network to fulfill all of your podcasting needs. As promised, I told you guys I was finally going to tell you guys about this show called Westworld that comes on HBO. It's, how do I start? Okay, how do we do this? All right, this is a good way to say this. So, you guys are under the we can tell that we travel certain places to see certain things that we probably wouldn't usually see elsewhere, or to go have different experiences. Like, so we'll use Vegas for example. If you go to Vegas and you gamble on sports and you go to particular shows and you dress different and you go to different places that you probably don't expect people to see you at. Why? Because what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, right? Like, you do things there and you maybe you live a life outside of the life that you usually expect to. And you can do this in a lot of places. You can do this in Miami. You can do this in New York City. You can do this in San Francisco. You can just wherever you travel to. But primarily it's in Vegas because it's Sin City. What happens there stays there. You don't want to run into anyone that you know outside of Vegas, like in Vegas, because you don't want your Vegas stuff getting back out. You know, even if you're not into like the Dennis Rodman, like OJ Simpson wild stuff. Even if you go down there and just gamble a little bit, like, you would never. People that don't buy scratchers on a daily basis will go to Vegas and just gamble $500, right? So we all go somewhere to be something that, like, we choose. Like, we go somewhere to live a different life, go somewhere to have a different experience, and basically see simulations of things. Same thing with Disneyland, right? Let me give you a more G example. We go to Disneyland and it's this magical world that doesn't really exist. You got these costumes. You got these people dressed up like mice. You got these people dressed up like dogs. Everyone's a princess. Everyone's having an amazing time. Everything costs $1 million, right? Right. Okay. So this show called Westworld is basically based on this premise where they don't even give you a time. It's just it's ultra far in the future. And it's a place where it's a Western. The whole thing is based on a Western. So I guess, when is the Wild West? Is that the 1700s? I feel so embarrassed saying this right now. Is that the 1800s when it was the Wild West? I don't know. I couldn't tell you for sure, but it's around that time, around the whole, like, cowboys and Indians. Yeah, it was the 17th century. Yeah. So, it's around that time, like during the whole Old West, 17th century, whatever. It's around that time. So you have cowboys, you have old schooly escorts, you have black people, you have Native Americans, you have all these people. There's wild cattle rustlers out in the forest, and there's tribes of people. It's just this world that's built. The thing is this: all these people are robots, and this is so far in the future that the robots, the AI, the artificial intelligence. Me saying robot is an outdated term, by the way. I get that. I know some of you guys are rolling your eyes. Just bear with me, though. Bear with me. I'm not that heavy in the game as you, so just be patient with me. It's AI, and the AI looks just like people. Okay. It looks just like people. So what people do, obviously this is more than virtual reality. You're like, oh, well, what's the big deal, right? There's robots walking around, blah, 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 blah. No, but it's more than that, because all these people, all these AI, they all have scripts and stories written for them. They're on track. They'll have things that are supposed to happen. For example, when you play a video game, you play any RPG, any game, whatever, that game is written in a particular way for the guy that's trying to kill you to say and do particular things. If you ever play Grand Theft Auto, it's like, if you ever play Grand Theft Auto and you go to certain places, all that stuff is written. It's pre-written. Whether there be 100 different ways that it can go, it's already pre-written, right? That's how this is. And they never disclose the price, but people come from different places to come to Westworld. Like, they come from all over the world. They pay, I'm not sure how much it is a day to stay in the park, but they don't really talk about the prices directly, but they, in a way, they hint towards it's for the mega wealthy. Because when you go there, like, they'll give you a gun and like, they'll give you a gun and you can pull your gun out and just shoot someone. You can like shoot one of the AIs. And the AIs also have guns, but the AIs, their guns don't really work. So you can just kill one of the AIs and they'll lay in the street. And then what they'll do is they'll shut down that part of the parks and people will come out. They'll clean the whole thing up and then they'll just start it all over again. They'll take the AI down to the shop, put all the stuff in them, make sure their skin's all good and redo them. The show is incredible. Another reason why this show is outstanding is because the acting in it, the cast, the way it's written, it's great. It's great. I'll be completely honest with you. When I first watched the first episode of this second season, I got a little bit lost. I was like, whoa, well, what's happening? But I see what they did. They did like a little flashback thing, and it's okay. It's hard. It's sometimes I know everybody that writes the show has to do their little flashback, but sometimes when the story is really good already and the premise is really good already and you got all these in the cast is just stellar and everything's going really well, when you throw a flashback in there, I get concerned. I don't know what's going on. That happened to me one time on Breaking Bad. I did a flashback once and Walter White had hair and I was like, what episode is, I went to my on demand to make sure like I wasn't watching an old episode, but turns out it was a flashback episode and he had hair. And I was like, okay, cool. Cause sometimes, shows that just give you a flashback because they ran out of stuff. You're like, okay, I guess this is season 3, episode 12, time for a flashback. No, this flashback is because they're like, all right, you guys want to see something really, really dope? And they just ran it. So I was pretty happy about it. I'd suggest you guys watch it. I'm going to give away this isn't really a spoiler, but this may make you want to watch it. At the end of the first season, something that we're dealing with right now in the second season, at the end of the first season, one of the robots, one of the AIs realizes there's like a glitch and they end up being misprogrammed and finding out that the world they're in isn't real. That AI creates an army and the AI has taken over the park. So if you turn this show on now, we're in a situation where there's like, we're doing flashbacks and dealing with a lot of stuff, but the AI has taken over the park and the dialogue is incredible. It's so far off in the future. They're not saying the date, which I love. I love that, by the way, when any show does something where they don't tell you the date or what's going on. And that way it's completely timeless. You know who did a really good job of that? Batman Returns. The Batman that has Prince on the whole album, when Prince did the whole soundtrack. That album, that particular movie doesn't have any time in it. Like there's no years or any direct time pieces in it, so it's a timeless movie. So I love when shows do that, when they don't tell you like when it is, or they don't have like direct pop culture references in something when exact. Obviously, like if Prince made it, Prince was alive, but I mean you won't see something and see like someone wearing a Jordan jersey, for example, or see somebody wearing like a particular Nike. You can just tell, even if they were wearing Nikes. That Nike remanufactured the same shoe, so off you would never know what time it was. But my point is, you should check out Westworld. I think it's a really good show. I'm sorry it took me so long to get to that. A lot of stuff was going on, obviously. And I also didn't realize I should tell you guys about it. But then I was like, oh yeah, this is Sci-Fi, duh. And then Fear of the Walking Dead was on. Then I was dealing with this whole Avengers hangover, the Avengers Anticipation, Deadpool Part 2. But I'm going to tell you guys, when I get back from this break, I'm going to tell you why you haven't even seen the best Marvel movie this year. Because it hasn't come out yet. And it's not Deadpool 2. I'll be right back.
This is your ultimate stop for everything sports. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Should I say more? From the NFL, MLB, the NBA to MMA, it's all in here. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Listen now.
Welcome back to the GSMC Sci-Fi Podcast with your favorite host, Ryan Holloway. Brought to you by and presented on the GSMC Podcast Network to fulfill all of your podcasting needs. So, I hope I didn't upset you guys when I signed off just a minute ago, because I might have said something that was a little bit disrespectful after I started talking about, after I've spoken in length. I've given multiple soliloquies and participated in several diatribes about how outstanding Avengers Infinity War was. And I also told you guys how incredibly outstanding Black Panther was. And Deadpool 2 looks like it's going to be pretty outstanding as well. But none of those movies are going to be the best Marvel movie this year. They're not. They're not going to be the best Marvel movie at all. You want to know what the best Marvel movie is going to be all year? And we can revisit this in December. We can revisit this. But October 5th, Venom is coming out. Venom is going to come out. Venom is going to drop. How do we say this? I am ecstatic about Venom. I'm ecstatic. And at one point when I was younger, I was never really a big Spider-Man fan. I kind of liked Venom. I never even knew what he was. I never even knew what Venom was. I thought he was kind of cool. I never knew exactly what he was, so I kind of liked how he would beat up on Spider-Man. I thought that was kind of cool. Then I also had the Spider-Man game on Sega Genesis where you could be Venom, you could be Carnage, you could be Spider-Man. It was the illest game ever. Super outstanding. So I've always been kind of excited about Venom, but not that excited, because it's like, okay, I mean, you guys have rebooted Spider-Man so many times. When will we ever get around to Venom? When's it ever going to happen? In fact, they rebooted Spider-Man so many times that I got frustrated with Spider-Man, and I haven't even seen the last one. But I might go see the next one. I might go see the last one now because Venom is going to come out. Because I mean, I was okay with Peter Parker as Spider-Man until they released Spider-Man Part 3, which was kind of, it was kind of frustrating. And then we had this other Spider-Man. We released 2 with Andrew Barkley. Was that his name? I'm not sure. Hey, I feel like those are really good movies, but we rebooted him again to this super young kid, which is fine. I get it. Like they want Spider-Man to be like young forever. His name was Andrew Garfield. I'm sorry, Andrew Garfield. And I get it. Andrew Garfield, maybe is he too tall to be Spider-Man? Maybe because he was about 6'1" or so and he was getting older. I don't know. But they got this young guy who hopefully he'll look like he's 12 forever. I get it. It makes sense. Never been very excited about it, but I'll go see it now because Venom's going to come out. And according to what I read, Venom is going to get his own franchise of films. Do you guys know who is playing Venom? You guys want to know who's playing Venom? The most underrated action star available, Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy also played Bane. He played Bane. You remember the guy that broke Batman's back? And then the way Batman defeated him was by hitting him with a really big bullet out of his car. Yeah, I mean, I'm like a really big like Christian Bale Batman fan, but for that to be the way that you beat Bane, yeah, I can't say I was very happy about that. Wasn't very excited about that. I didn't like it at all. Didn't like it. Wasn't a huge fan. Anyway, So Tom Hardy played Bane. Tom Hardy also played Bronson. Tom Hardy also played I forget. He was in Inception. He was in a movie called Lawless, where he was basically a legendary whiskey bootlegger. He was also an MMA fighter in a movie called Warrior. He's been all over the place. But he's super underrated. He's played all these action roles, and I don't even feel like anyone even knows who he is. But I think this Venom role is going to put him over the top. But it's interesting how when you're in Hollywood for all these years, playing all these parts, and some people know who you are, but not everyone knows who you are. This is like probably the first time he's going to actually have his face out on the screen. When he was Bane, nobody saw his face. And Warrior, Lawless, Bronson, I'm not going to say those movies are straight to DVD, but they just weren't like super duper ultra incredibly like broadcast all over the world. This Venom movie though, in the trailer looks ridiculously nice. I'm just excited about it. Really, and if you haven't seen the trailer, if for any reason you have not seen the Venom trailer, that's what I need you to do. I need you to watch it. Like the latest one, the one that was on during Avengers. For those of you guys that did see Avengers, you saw the trailer. For those of you that haven't seen Avengers, get your life together and go watch the trailer, because Venom is going to be the best Marvel movie that comes out this year. No disrespect, Black Panther. No disrespect, Thanos. No disrespect, Deadpool 2. No disrespect to Thor. I believe Thor Ragnarok came out in January, I think. I don't know. Can't tell you for sure. But no disrespect to any of you guys, but Venom is going to be the best one this year. Mark my words. So, with that, this has been your favorite host, Ryan Holloway, brought to you by the GSMC Sci-Fi Podcast, presented on the GSMC Podcast Network to fulfill all of your podcasting needs. As always, live long, prosper, watch out for potholes.